Hi, my name is Tony Rivera. First time I came to the church was 13 years ago. I've been coming steady with my wife and family for 11 years now. It was in 2005. I was with my wife. We were shopping in the mall. We were carrying a bunch of packages, and we saw a group of people, and we got closer. We saw they were gift wrapping. So I said, honey, let's go get these gifts wrapped. And we went over there, and it looks like they were ending their day. And I said, please, could you wrap my gifts? I would really appreciate it. And they looked at me, and they started wrapping. And I remember I gave them the fourth gift. They said, we're only supposed to do 3. I said, please, could you do this for me? And then they turned around, and that's when Pastor Ray came over. And he started talking to us. And that's when I knew that this was the church, and this was a pastor. And it was just amazing. It felt like I knew him for years. They wrapped all our gifts, and they gave us a flyer. And right then and there, I told them, I'm going to see you guys this coming Sunday. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I remember I was walking home. My wife said to me, hey, honey, are we going to go to the church Sunday? I said, yes, I want no problems with God. So we definitely went.
2005 with gift wrapping was a very fruitful year. We met some significant people. We made as what we call deep contacts with folks. One of them was a gentleman by the name of Tony Rivera. It was a Saturday night. We were all done gift wrapping. The line was closed. And here comes this man with a bubbling personality. And he's asking, could you wrap my gifts? And he didn't just have 1, 2, or 3. Don't listen to him. Whatever he tells you, he probably had more like 5 to 10 gifts. But Tony, as we know, is a really nice man, and he's hard to say no to. And so he said to me, he said, I'll come to church if you wrap my gifts. So as a preacher, I thought that was a pretty good deal. After all, that's why we're here. We're here to wrap gifts, do a great job, but also invite people to church, introduce them to Christ.
The very first Sunday that we went was a week after Pastor Ray was doing a series on a movie. It was very touching. It was very biblically based. I told my wife, wow, this place feels just so right. Unfortunately, due to my job, which I have to work mostly a lot of weekends, I sort of wasn't able to get connected until like 2 years later. I needed to find a home. I went to the first service in another church, and I was sitting there, and it was an amazing church. It was, amazing choir. But I was sitting there, and I just felt like it just didn't feel right. And I remember the gift wrap, and I know I had a flyer in my car, and I went in the car, I saw the flyer, and I saw that I had time to make it to the service. It was in a public school. It was like around 12 o'clock, and I rushed, and I got there. It was like about 6 people in the entire service, and there was Pastor Ray preaching, and it was amazing all over again. When the service was over, he came up to me, and he said, how you doing, Tony? How's Barbara? How's the family? He called everybody by name. I haven't seen him in 2 years. I was overwhelmed. I remember that day I came home and I said, honey, I'm sorry about that big, pretty church that you wanted to go to, because God has called us to our home here at Crossroads.
Tony was a man of his word, because we wrapped every one of his gifts. He shook my hand. He said he would be there. And sure enough, him and his lovely family came when we were over at the Suspino Russo. They came that next Sunday to church. If my recollection is correct, they were right there. I think it was the second week in December. And there they were at the church. And even though Tony came that Sunday, but then we didn't see him for a couple of years later, I knew there was something special about both him and Barbara. And they've become family, to my mother and father, my wife, Jen, of course, and our family. And I just think back to that first meeting. You just know when you meet somebody. And even though he was trying to get me to wrap extra gifts for him, it was worth it.
When me and my wife first started coming together at Crossroads, I remember the first thing they were showing was a film on a missionary trip that they were planning to Brazil. And then I looked at my wife, and I saw her raising her hand. And I said, oh no. And next thing you know, I was in an airplane flying to Brazil. Pretty scary. I don't like flying. We went there, and I must say, it was better than any vacation that you could imagine. It was just an incredible time of being in God's presence in this country. That's an experience that'll last a lifetime. And I'm just so grateful. It's been an amazing journey. I've had the privilege to be a part of Crossroads growing. And there've been times that it's been difficult, but I tell you, it's like you have a second family. And so grateful that I was able to be a part of this. That really touched my heart. I felt like I had a belonging, and I needed this because we sort of lost our ways. And this foundation, this church, this pastor, and this second family of mine was a part of our growth. And we were able to grow with the church. And it was just an amazing journey. As you know, me and my wife were not young. And I'm retired. I have a 41-year-old son, a 30-something-year-old daughter, and a 20-something-year-old daughter. I don't like to say girls' ages, they get mad. But, so we were pretty much done. But due to circumstances, Destiny came into our lives. And she's been such a blessing. We love her so much. But the incredible thing was the way Crossroads welcomed her, the love they showed her. It was just amazing. It was like Destiny was coming and becoming their child. It was just amazing, and I'm so thankful. I mean, Destiny didn't know anything of Christ. And through the Sunday classes, through the teachings, through the bold generation, and now later, she's involved with the worship. She was able to sing a solo. And I almost became a complete mess watching that. I'm just so grateful to see the growth. I didn't know that so many years ago in 2005, wanting to get my gift wraps was going to be a whole different thing that God had planned. What he was going to do was he was going to take my life and direct it towards him. And because of that, everything was planned perfectly. And I'm so grateful. Seeing Destiny, my wife, and myself here, growing and being a part of this church during the difficult times, during the happy times. It's just an experience that you can't imagine, and it's a true blessing. And I'm so thankful to being a part of this church. For somebody who wants to gift wrap, I would just tell you, do not hesitate. It's just an amazing experience to be a part of the Great Commission. It's like being a missionary right here on Staten Island. We need this here. We have to be that light. If it wouldn't have been that they were there when I was there, we would have missed it. There's so many other people out there. Christmas should be all year round because we need this. And you don't have to be no eloquent speaker, because look at me, I'm not, that's for sure. I'm not even a gift wrapper. I can't gift wrap for anything. But I'm glad I can't, because that's what brought me to Crossroads. But I could tell you this, just go. Don't be concerned about what you're feeling. God will take care of it. It's just a way to evangelize, just by sharing God's love, just by giving people hope in this hopeless world. I can't imagine what life would have been if I wouldn't have done and I wouldn't have gone to that mall that day. And there's somebody that's out there waiting, not knowing. I encourage every one of you, everybody, do not hesitate. God calls on you, just say yes. For anyone who had their gift wrap and they gave you that invitation, just come. Just be a part of this. Give it time. There'll be plenty of obstacles that'll come in the way. You're going to have a million reasons why not to come and not want to be a part of something. The world is going to try to challenge you in every single way. Stay strong. Stay faithful. Don't let anything discourage you, because there are times that you don't want, and there are times there are going to be a million obstacles that want to get in your way. But we have to sometimes just go forward in faith, because the rewards are so much greater. Though we might not see it today now, but the rewards will be an eternity of love and life with Christ. I'm so glad to be a part of this. Please don't even hesitate. This is the time to do it now. This is your chance. Every single person here has a calling. Start stepping forward, and God will take care of them.